This is the June 2023 paper 3. It will be the region 2, or should I say version 2 of the June 2023 paper. You can try this on because this is the newer syllabus of the IGCSE ICT. And let us start by just going through the question. This is task 3, and this has a total of 33 questions on the entire chapter 21 over HTML kind of a task. So let us go through with this. It says here that you are going to create a web page and style sheet to promote the Tarawa Animal Sanctuary. The web page and style sheet must work in any browser, and all the color codes are in hexadecimal. All right, and any new color codes must also be in hexadecimal. Make sure that the style sheet contains no HTML, and make your HTML and style sheet as efficient as possible. That means we have to create both HTML and CSS files separately. So they asked us to create a TAS task folder, that's short for Tarawa Animal Sanctuary, and a web page called task.html. I'm going to go through my Windows environment and let's see. Are we going to go ahead? And this was the other document I do. What I want to do right now, perhaps I can create a folder right here in the Microsoft Expression Web. No, I don't think I can. So we're just going to go ahead and just open and create a new folder via the documents itself. So I'm just going to label this as task, and then let's create a new HTML page and save this as inside the documents task. We're going to save this dash task.html or HTML. Let's do this .html instead. Or you just save this, and then you can see that this particular document has been saved, and we actually have completed this area. And it says that this web page must be created using a single table and work in all browsers. The table must fit 80% of the browser window, and the table must have the structure as shown in this diagram. So by the looks of this, this has three columns, 1, 2, and 3, because EFC. And we have to create about 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So 3 columns, 4 rows, and the others are just being merged. Now, if you are a coder, you can go ahead and do this, but in the exams, you're allowed to use the design page. So go ahead and select 3 columns and 4 rows, something like this. And then you have the information that you need. Now, we need to make sure that this has a width of 80% because the question asks us to make sure it has 80% of the browser window. So I am over at the code, and you can see that the table automatically spans across 100%. We can just simply change this to 80% instead. Now this one we can't see, but the table is definitely there, but it's within the 80% of the width. So after doing so, we then make sure that each of the cell is identified with the letter, and some of the dimensions are shown. But I say that the cell content shown in the diagram must not appear on the final web page, and table borders must not appear on the web page as well. So we don't have to write A, B, D, E, F, C, but we just want to make sure we have all these things. So first and foremost, we're going to go through this first row here. We have this first row. And what we want to do is, as we can visualize as much as we do, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight. You can see that we have, when I highlight this by selecting with my mouse, I can see that the tables have all the rows that I need. So the first row, I want to merge it and label this as A. All right, so I'm just going to label it so that it's easy for me to look at. And then let's take a look at B. B, I need to merge this across. And so I highlight this and merge this across to the row. Right click, merge. B, and then C, if you can take a look, this one is merge 3 rows together. This is the row span. So I'm going to highlight C, which is right here, right? And then merge rows together. Right click, modify, merge. And try to label this as C so it's easy for me to look at. And then the last two, D, E, and F. D, highlight this, modify, merge, D, and then I have E, and then I have F here. So if you highlight them all together, you can see that the letters are properly labeled in each of the tables here. Now each cell has been identified. We just make sure that at the end of this paper, we don't have that letter. Now, before we go on to the next question, we need to ensure that these B, C has its length and percentages that we need to have. So let's go on to the code and take a look some of the row spans that we have placed. I'm going to just try putting my mouse and then I drag the columns nicely right here. Now let's see whether that the width has helped us. So we do have the width for E here. So we're just going to ensure that this is within 29% for F. Okay. So if you do that, you can see that F is at least 29%. But let's do the split wheel. We want to do the same thing for E as well. So I'm going to drag a little bit on the words towards E for the percentage width. So I'm going to make sure that this is also 29% for E. So the height and the width of that table is according to this question. So E and F have 29. So let's try the next one with the table width of B. D will actually follow suit with D. D will actually follow suit with B, so we'll just make sure we make the changes at B itself. Let's find the width over at B, and we'll just drag this one here. All right. So this is where we can actually manage and change the code indirectly on the on the cell B. Now, as you see when you drag the column directly at B, it changes the width on F itself. But in the exam, we had to show that we have actually applied the correct width in cell B. So instead of doing the manual design, we have to go into the code of column and row B and add the style itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this code over at cell E, and then I paste it over at cell B and ensure I put this as 58% for cell B. And then that will assist me to place cell B and show the case that cell B has the correct code that I needed. All right, so cell B right now have 58%. And then to do on cell C, I'm gonna go copy that and paste in cell C and ensure that cell C is according to the question, which is 42%. Right. So based on the code, the cell should look visually this way. If you highlight everything, it should have the correct spacing based on the percentage that they have. And if you do this correctly, you should attain the 10 marks that is currently here. Now, moving on to the next step is using video or source tag to play in cell B with the video J2332tiger.mph. Now, if you are students from another school, ensure that you download the source file from some past year sources. But in my school, my students will be able to access this J2332 Tiger MP4, and we just ensure we download into some of our folders. So I'm going to put this inside the task folder and save it. Although this is Microsoft Expression Web 4, you might want to go into media and include all these in the video right here through these options. But for the IGCSE Cambridge, I don't recommend using Microsoft Expression Web 4's media insert because all of these technology is not updated to the current HTML and browser type. So Cambridge will have its own HTML meta tags that you need to, or HTML video tags that you need to follow. So the question asks us to insert the video in cell B. So we can go into the code section, split, and then remove the cell B and extend the TD tag on cell B and insert a video with its width, because the question asks us to insert a video, and then the width must fit the width of the cell. Sorry, the video must fit the width of the cell. So we include video equals 100%. That is according to the width of the cell. And then we close this meta tag. But inside the meta tag, we need, sorry, not meta tag, the video tag. Now, I would give some extra spaces within the video tag because right now we need to include the source of the video by typing source src, and then we type in the file name, which is j2332 tiger.mp4. That is the file name of the video that we just downloaded. And after having the source, we need to type what type this file is by simply saying type and then equals video slash mp4. That we close the source tag, and then let's take a look at the message, the question. And the question asks us to display an appropriate text-based error message. The browser does not support this video, so we can just simply say, if this video cannot be played, your browser does not support this video file type. Just like an alternate caption, we don't need to put any tags for this, and that is basically how we can insert a video. When you go to the design tag, you cannot see the video at all because we need to save and we need to view it in a browser. So in Microsoft Expression Web, we can view the browser by selecting File, and then we select Preview Browser. Depending on the school devices that you have installed, mine, I have Google Chrome already installed, so I can preview this directly. And then this will open up and it show me the video tag that this is placed correctly. Now, how do you play this video? You can just right click and select Show All Controls, and then the play controls will then show you that the video is actually working. All right, it's basically question 3 on that very first part of cell B. Now let's focus on cell A. We need to place the image called j2332 banner.jpg. Likewise, I'm just going to go and select this banner, download it from the school drive, place it inside the task folder that I'm working, and then I'm going to insert this cell A with the image. I'm just going to highlight that one, insert media, and select J233 banner. I don't have to put in any alternative tags. I just need to place this in. Right, does the question ask us to resize the picture? Not really, because the question just asks us to insert a picture for a while, but it asks us to maintain the aspect ratio for all images. So I think I can go ahead and just make sure that this is a little bit smaller to look at. by ensuring that the table is within 80% of the page. So I gotta make sure that this is viewable and having the maintain of the aspect ratio being maintained. No, this is not there, but if I just save again and I preview this over in the browser, the picture and the video will look like this. That's within the 80% of the page weight of the browser page. So next, I will go ahead and put in the tiger image. We have did this, but this one was back in step 1 previously. So we can just go ahead and just put in the tiger. So this was the picture, but I have not done the step 1. So I can just show you how can I do the step 1 right here in Microsoft Expression Web 4. I'm going to download this and put this in this folder. And on cell C, I'm just going to place in the image. No, because I did not make any changes in step 1. I just literally just start this question without going to the previous one. Just trying to resize this one as much as I can so that it's easier for me to control. And you can see that the tiger is not rotated correctly. All I need to do is go onto the view bars and ensure that this picture tool is selected. Right now I unselect it so that I can show you how to make sure that the picture tools is selected, and then you have the tiger properly rotated using this rotation tool. All right. So as the tiger is inside cell C, we have completed that task. Let's head on to cell E, inserting the J2332 monkey directly. Download this. Paste this inside to tasks. Go on to this section. And I've forgotten what the question asks us. It asks us to put this monkey in cell E. Select E, media, ensure I input the monkey. Every time when the picture is very large, we can go ahead and just resize this, but make sure you hold shift so that the aspect ratio is maintained. And then in cell F, I can insert the elephant. I'm gonna go ahead and download the elephant, save it inside a TAS folder, back to Expression Web 4, and insert this as a media. And so every time when you insert something, you can just resize it so that it's controllable and viewable nicely for you. Just gonna make this a little smaller a bit so that it just fits aesthetically pleasing for me. So E and F are replaced with the pictures that I want. Okay. It says that it asks us to make sure each aspect ratio is maintained. So I did not distort the image, and all of them are maintained with the shift. And this time we have to ensure all of this picture have a proper alternative text. So to do the alternative text, I would rather go and so to do the alternative text for each of this picture, I will just double click this picture, and here the alternative text, I would say Tarawa Animal Sanctuary banner. Right, that's the alternative text. I will put this picture of the tiger as the alternate text. Then this one, picture of a monkey. double click this, a picture of an elephant bathing, something like that. So a picture of a group of monkeys. I just want to change this. And that should be the proper captions or alternate text of all these images in order to maintain this question. Right, moving into question 4, we have to place in cell the contents of J2332tas.txt. So with this question, make sure we download this txt file. And I'm going to put it in the TS folder as well. But since this is a TST, we can just open with our notepad, copy the entire thing. Let's check the question again. They want us to display the text in 2 paragraphs and add a 3rd paragraph, placing inside cell D. So cell D, we're just going to go ahead and paste the information. You can see that this is literally in 2 paragraphs. And what we want to do is add a 3rd paragraph, web page edited by our name, center, and candidate number. So web page edited by colon my name, center number, and candidate number. These are just plate numbers, so I'm just going to put these values like this. Okay. That's we need, before moving into question number 5, we need to apply H2 to all this text. This is simply by just highlighting this tool, the section of cell D, and you apply that with this. All right. Now, once that being applied, we can go to question 5. And this time we have to create a hyperlink from the image J2332 elephant, and by opening the web page J2332 elephant.html. So what we're going to do is just going to try to download that little HTML folder, place it in the TAS folder, and then we go back to the editor to ensure that this elephant picture, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, the elephant picture is hyperlinked. And to do hyperlink with the picture, you just gotta double click, and then on the hyperlink location, just browse and make sure that this HTML J2332 ELEP selected, and this will be hyperlinked for you. Now, it will look blue, but if you check the code, the image is now being linked to the HTML reference to J2332 elep.html. All right. So let's move on to the next question. You will have to create another hyperlink from the image of the monkey to send an email message to ts@cambridge.org with a subject line called support a monkey. Now let's head back to the design page of the monkey. Hyperlink to create the email is different. So we're just gonna go make sure we select the image on the design page. Just go on to the insert and you select a hyperlink. And on that hyperlink, you will be able to select email address and the subject. Let's go with the email address versus tas@cambridge.org. tas@cambridge.org. Subject was support a monkey. Okay, so once that's done, you just select OK. That thing seems to be anything on the designs page, but if you go to the code section, you can see that this has been hyperlinked to an email to tas@cambridge.org, and a subject has been given right there. Okay. Moving on to the next question, we have to now attach the CSS file. No, don't be CSS file is just very straightforward. just go ahead and download the CSS file from this source file and put it in the TS folder. Now, what I would like to do, and what would I do when it comes to a CSS file in Microsoft Expression Web, we're just going to go ahead and go all the way to the top of the code. This particular section, let's try to add a CSS style sheet. Right. What I like Microsoft Expression Web for is that you can attach the style sheet without entering the code. Just on the bottom right of the editor, just select Attach Style Sheet, then browse the location of the source file given to you. And just open this one, and then make sure that this is attached as link, and then this should be all attached to all HTML pages. Like OK. Okay, once that's done, the style sheet will then automatically link that CSS for you, and then it will place it within the head section. And once you go to the design page, you will be able to see how the pictures or the CSS being applied. Now the pictures can look a little bit distorted, but don't worry. Just preview in a browser first by saving the web pages. Just press OK, save everything nicely, and then preview this in a browser. So we're going to preview, and then the page looks like this, and then we're going to make sure we're going to screenshot. So what I tell students to do is they should use the snipping tool instead. You can use the Windows Shift and S if you're familiar with some other tools on your own. So Windows have its own snipping tool, easy for you to view your screenshot. What you can do, make sure you screenshot the address bar at the top, and then you paste the first one, and ensure that you go back and screenshot the rest, showing the whole page, what this looks like. And go ahead and screenshot this one as well. Make sure that it connects. And I paste it right here. Screenshot, so it looks quite okay. You can adjust this a little if you want them to see what you've created. Just make sure I have no space within so that the screenshot looks as per like it's continuing. And just make sure that it looks like that a little bit. All right, seems like it is continue as a page. All right, so that's the screenshot of the first one. I'm going to go further down and screenshot the rest of the page. Okay, so this will looks like this for the entire page, with the address bar, with the pictures and the text are all visibly clear. Why I don't really prefer to zoom out, because if I zoom out, all the images and the stuff will be squashed and the text will be slow to look at, because my current resolution is small and the whole entire content will be squashed this way. So you can screenshot via that way. And then finally, you just provide your code as an evidence that you have completed this task. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ensure I accidentally pressed that. So I'm just going to Control All, copy this entire thing, and place this entire code as an evidence here. That's right at the bottom. And then at the time of the exam, you just have to print out all of these pictures and of course your code and submit to the examiner. But I suggest that you name your evidence as task tree according to the question paper. It didn't say what evidence you need to produce and how you label this. It's just making sure that you screenshot this, but I rather just label this as task tree question 7. So task tree question 7 so that the examiner will need to know. And basically that's it for this question.